So welcome along guys to SBR Sim Racing BTCC Legends round 3 from Kyoto in Japan. Don't know why we went that far, but it's a great track and there's a confirmation of it. Kyoto Driving Park Yagamagawa 2. I hope I said that right. But anyway, we've had rounds 1 and 2 and there are the points after those events, with Nathan leading from Ben, Dylan, Sean, Lewis, Liam, Jason, Jeff, Ashley, Coleman, Andrew, Alex, Greg, Ian, Leon and Chris. So we'll see who comes out on top today. So like I say, this is race 3 out of about a 20 race calendar, and Kyoto is the venue for today. There's a quick look at the grid. Scooby on Nathan on pole from Ben and Lewis. So we get ready for the start. And as usual, watch for the four-wheel drive cars to shoot off the line. And Scooby will be, Nathan, sorry, will be mindful of that. And it's away, and straight away Ben's straight past him like a rocket, like we saw at Brands Hatch, and takes an early lead. Nathan slotting into second place, holding the inside. Behind that is Lewis with a newcomer Adam, and he's looking to make an impressive debut and has been quick in practice. And already in trouble is Coleman, sideways in the Lexus, but the ex-Julian Bailey car there carrying on and just 3 wide into the next corner. That'll be trouble, but they all managed to get through with Jeff and Ash there fighting for it. Watching Dylan now as he tries to make some moves. He's up there in the championship as well, but it is Ben that leads from Nathan, Lewis, Adam and Sean, and Dylan just seems to be a bit out of kilter, but he's catching back up. Ash there with a good start in 9th place with Jeff behind him as they come through this tricky downhill chicane, but it still looks like Ben sideways from Nathan. Lewis hanging on to his coattails, Adam with Sean right behind him, and in the background there's a few cars going off. It looked like Ash as Jason, welcome Jason back now up the inside there of Alex. Sorry, it's Alex that's returned to the series after missing Brands Hatch in the Morgan car. And nice looking car that is as well, and it's the Toyota. Ooh, sparks fly from Ash, means business today. Greg there as well, he's also returning for this week. Tried to race in the first races, but obviously had a few issues with connection, and down to last place behind Chris. But nice to see Greg out there in the Mazda, the ex Morgan car as well. So we've got a couple of Morgan cars, and he's straight back up the inside of Chris into the final corner. As a complete lap 1 then to Ben leads from Nathan, but Nathan's now onto the fastest part of the track, and that's where the Lexus shines. Ben's just coming off, and Nathan tried to go around the outside quite deep into the corner there for Ben, a little bit side wide and contact, and Nathan's through. He's through in a bit of argy-bargy, but he's definitely through, and the Lexus should see him right into the next corner, and he's lost the back end, a bit of contact and into the wall. And he loses 2, 3, 4, 5 places by the looks of it. He's going to go right back to 6th place. Slightly over ambitious from Nathan, I would have said. And meanwhile this scrap, which looks like it could be a race long duel, is carrying on, but Nathan there just a little bit over ambitious, trying to go around the outside, and lost the back end of the Lexus, and then it kind of shot him across the front of Ben's Subaru there. So yeah, lives to fight another day though, and we know how fast that Lexus is, so he should be able to come back at that. Meanwhile, Alex has pulled a nice little move there on Jason, just waited for him to go wide as the recovering Nathan gets his heartbeat rate down again. But now Ben's under attack from Lewis. He can't seem to get a break in this race so far. He's literally holding everyone up, and there's a big train behind him. But Lewis there with the impressive debut there from Adam in 3rd place, with Sean hanging on behind that. We're on board with Lewis right now. Just this is his best part of the track. He's so fast down through what I would call the roller coaster. From now on it'll just be easier, and into the list, very very tricky last corner. You think you've got the apex, you try to accelerate, and all of a sudden you're off on the grass on the outside, which is very very lethal. But all these guys are safely through. In the background Alex is not safely through. He's hit the barrier and he's spun, and that's what can happen if you get it wrong. It's a tricky last corner. Andrew just darts out the way to miss him. Not sure whether he needed to do that, but it was very close. And Greg there looks like he's shaping up for a move on Jeff, and he is down the inside of turn 1. That Mazda seems to turn very well. It is turning well. He's just not going to quite pull the move. A bit of contact, but all's fair in love and war. In the background there you can see Chris hanging on quite well. His qualifying times weren't that great, but he is hanging on to the pack at least. As we go back to the front, Ben's still just hanging on from Lewis. Lewis putting the pressure on. He's been extremely fast all week in practice, so he's got to be one of the favourites for the race. And Adam, like I say, doing very well with limited practice, is straight on the pace straight away. And he's running the Ingram car from a couple of years back. Sean hanging on as well, despite what he believed he wouldn't be able to with his pace. He's actually hanging on quite well. And if anything, Dylan's the one that's just dropping off the back. Contact there from Lewis. He's just tapping the back of the Subaru, just trying to get some, like, a gap so that he can run into. But it seems like Ben's driving around the inside of the racetrack today. He knows that Subaru is probably not the best car out there today, and he's just literally hanging on. Look how fast Lewis is through there, and he just can't quite make the move. He's going to try around the outside into the last corner. That's ambitious, and it may work. He is kind of in front. He's in front at the moment, but now back down to second, and he'll probably get run out a little bit. Yep, Ben keeps the lead just for now, and this is bunching everyone back up again. Lewis is coming back at Ben. Could have thought about the inside maybe there, but decided not to. Tries to go around the outside again. It's always a bit dangerous with touring cars to try the outside move, because you run the risk of getting run off the track. More contact on the exit, but again it doesn't look like he's going to get around the outside. Over the curbs and over the grass now, and just about. Ben is hanging on by the skin of his teeth at the moment. Lewis again trying around the outside. I think he needs to think about an inside move if he wants to get this done. But very defensive from Ben, and now Adam is probably thinking it's about time he got involved in this. And down now into this, what I would call horrible downhill corner. It's so hard to get right. You've got to clip the curbs and just kind of get it skipping over the curbs, which some cars do better than others. Is Greg now still fighting with Jeff. Jeff always seems to be able to fight with someone for a whole race distance, and today he's chosen Greg as his playmate, and that's quite deep there from Jeff into that corner. He's gone wide into the wall I thought he had, and Greg takes that. But I doubt that's the end of the matter. I know what Jeff's like, he won't give up. Chris there at the back still, and side by side that looks like Dylan has got past Adam, so Adam possibly made a mistake on the downhill part that we've missed, and Dylan has taken away his 4th place. And in the background you see now Nathan's caught the group back up. He's had a little bit of a rest and thought about his life, and he's caught back up to the lead pack. And I can see that Lewis is straight on the back of Ben still, just in front of this. And Lewis is off. He's hit the barrier, but he's kept it. He almost did an Alex, and in the background you can see a load of pit stops. We've got Sean, it looks like Dylan, and it may have been Adam as well, I think it was. Change of tyres then for the Alpha, and off he goes again. And it's Nathan as well, and also in is Jason in the Primera. And Jeff still soldiering on. There's Coleman pits as well, and Chris from the back of the field pits as well. So this will be interesting to see who's done the right strategy. Will the guys that are on the new tyres, will that bring them into play? As still Ben stays out, and it looks like Lewis has stayed out, and the car behind is Adam. He stayed out, so it wasn't Adam that pitted. And here's the first of the guys that has pitted. It's Sean with Dylan and Nathan right behind them. Alex going well in 7th there, and Andrew, we've not talked about all race yet, is in 8th. And Andrew's a good driver that can cause some problems to the leaders as well later in the race, I would have thought. As they head up over this hill, saps the power from the cars, and then they head into this really long right-hander which just kills the tyres, which is why you're seeing some guys pitting earlier than others. Some are just risking it to go a lap more so that they have a bit more pace at the end of the race. And Andrew there with a penalty, maybe skipped over the curbs a little bit too much. Greg looking quite impressive on his debut actually. And Jeff fighting back after that moment down the bottom of the hill. Coleman a little bit further back than we'd expect. And here are the leaders then. Will they come in this lap? I would imagine so. And Ben peels off, and so does Lewis, and I'm going to imagine Adam will as well. There's the fanciest pit stop crew in the championship there. And no position changes there, but they're coming out, and where are the other guys? And here they are, and they're all on top of Lewis. Sean's already got him, Dylan's there, and so's Nathan, and they're all side by side. and they all got through somehow. So, wow. So the guys that pitted earlier have gained a good advantage. Sean's gained a massive advantage. I mean, he's gained like 3 places. He's into 2nd place, and Ben will be happy with that, because between the two of them, the 4-wheel drive cars, they have been struggling all week. But now Lewis has got some serious work to do. He was on the back of the leader not long ago. Now he finds himself in 4th place, and the top 6 then all in a line as we enter the second half of this race. Downhill now into this horrible corner. Like I say, you've got to skip over the curbs, but some cars don't like the curbs, and particularly Lewis's car is very good through there. But there's your top 6 heading over the crest and into that fast right-hander. And further back, 7th is Jason. Ooh, and Jeff over the curbs again. He'll have to slow down, and he does, as he's still battling with Greg. I said he would be. As the leaders now come over the rise, it's Ben, from Sean, from Dylan, from Lewis, from Nathan, and Adam at the back there. So a couple winners, couple losers in the pit stops. The main losers being Lewis and Adam, I would have said. But Lewis ran the outside of Dylan. Now he's not waiting for it, and a bit of contact, but that was always going to happen. And a switch back from Lewis, that will give him the inside. Surely with the extra grip of the lap newer tyres will get him past, and it has, up into 3rd place. And his next victim's quite slow on a straight Alpha, and he's already on top of him as he heads into the first corner. Sean sees it coming, defends the inside and holds him out, and he'll just run him wide surely there, and he's booted it mid corner and just pushed Lewis wide a little bit. That was always going to happen, and it is a touring car move, so kind of accepted. A bit of contact there with Dylan as they head over this horrible chicane. None of these chicanes are that great, it's just the high curbs really unsettle the car. And Lewis has got it covered on the inside. No, he hasn't. There's a BMW shaped gap that Dylan's found, and he's a little bit of contact, a little bit of rubbing on the way around the hairpin. They have to sort this out before they come down this hill, because this is only one car at a time. But Dylan's not giving it up. He's tapping the back of the Toyota to say, look, I'm here, give me some room. And Lewis takes it sideways over the curbs and takes the place back again. But now Nathan's got a massive run on the pair of them with a Lexus power, and he's passed Dylan already, and he's trying to get past Lewis into the next corner, and it's 4 wide as they head into this corner. That can't work. Adam ran the outside, and Dylan's gone into the corner in 6th, and he looks like he's going to come out of it 3rd. Crazy racing, but all's good, and a little bit more door panel rubbing, but that's the 2 Ingrams, so I'm sure that the paint will trade well. And that was some crazy racing. Dylan went into the corner depressed in 6th place, comes out of it in 3rd, and somehow Scold's back in Lewis is back in 5th. More rubbing. Nathan down the inside of Dylan there, and that should be a done deal by the end of the straight with the Lexus power, and it looks like it's going to be. Flashing the lights from Adam as he tries to put Lewis off into turn 1. And yep, Nathan takes the place. Dylan's not giving it up, but I think it's a bit of a done deal there. Meanwhile, Lewis, who seems to be battling everybody on the track today, is still trying, and he's now onto the back of Dylan, trying to force a move after being overtaken a lap ago at this very place. And nope, Dylan even thinking about a move on Nathan, but it's kind of slow mid corner, and that's slowed up the first of the Ingrams. Meanwhile, this is allowing Ben and Sean to make a break. Especially Ben, he seems to have a quite nice lead now, and Sean will be loving this. Remember, his tyres are a lap older than some of these cars around him. Lewis sideways down the bottom of the hill again, and that's he's got a penalty for that. It looked a bit risky. It did look like he overstepped the mark a little bit. Adam ran the outside of Dylan. Hyundai's got some punch, and he's through. Dylan holding the tight line, but it's too late. Adam moving forward there, great move. As we run on board with him now, looking back at Dylan's BMW. He'll be slightly disappointed he's back down to 6th after running 3rd again. He's been up and down the charts quite quickly, and now he's still not giving up, and he's having a look again down the inside. Has he completed the move? It looks like he's got the inside line. That should be enough. And Adam holds it together and holds the outside line. That will give him the inside for turn 1. But here he is, Ben, Sean, Nathan, Lewis, Adam and Dylan. Still, we don't know who the top 3 could be. It could be any one of these, the way this race is panning out. Lewis he'll be a bit upset with that penalty, but to be honest, he's been cutting it fine down the bottom of that corner. Ben, Sean, and then we got Nathan and Lewis. Lewis right on the back of Nathan again. He's going to look for the inside. He can't. He's going to try his favourite outside move that hasn't worked yet, but he might try to do a switch back. Adam sideways as well with Dylan right behind him. Dylan sideways on the exit. The tyres are starting to cry enough. Very abrasive track. As we look back at 7th, and that's Jason with Alex, who looks like he's just taken his penalty, which is why his car's got a bit see-through, into 8th. 9th for Coleman and 10th for Andrew. But moving in on him is Greg. He's having a great race. And Ash just behind that as we go back to the leaders. And now Sean has been caught in half a lap, and he has a penalty. Nathan doesn't, Lewis does, and looks like Adam has as well. So everyone now just getting a bit carried away, and Dylan has, so why not? Let's all have penalties. So yeah, that's going to jumble up the order at the end. We'll try and stay on top of that. Coleman with a penalty as well, and Andrew behind him. So this seems to be the lap that everyone decided penalties are a good idea. We're heading into the closing stages of this race 3 now at Kyoto, and it is Ben that still leads, which is a surprise if you take away the practice pace. And we're heading on towards the last lap now, I would say. Sean now, he'll be desperate to hold on to 2nd place, but mindful of that penalty. You can try and take it somewhere around the track if you can, but you end up losing roughly about 2 seconds trying to take a 0.5 penalty in this game. So wide at turn 1, Nathan will know that. He'll try to, he's out, put the power on too much, sideways from the Lexus in the Will Hoy livery. It's important to mention the liveries, I suppose. So there's Ingram there and Ingram behind him, and the Gabriele Tarquini Alpha livery is in 2nd place at the moment. And a flash of the lights from Lewis. He's not happy. He wants that 4th place back. I'm not really sure how he lost it. I missed that. But the Hyundai driver slowing it down mid-corner to try and stop the cutback, and it worked. Sean's 2nd now, but he's under huge pressure from Nathan. And cut to that battle now. Nathan, all he has to do really is sit behind Sean, but that's not Nathan's style. He'll try and take it on track. Quite a big cut there on the corner, but he looks like he's got away with it. Sean now defensive, knowing how fast that Lexus is on the straight. We mentioned it many times, and it's just true. It's very, very quick on the straight, but possibly a bit worse on tyre wear. Around the outside there from Nathan, but that won't work. He'll try to get a cut back and use the power, but no, not quite. Sean doesn't know which side to defend. That's brave. Nathan's thinking about the inside move down into the roller coaster, and his side-by-side contact. And he's still looking, and they're just trying to overlap each other, but Sean's hanging on to it. Nathan has to settle back, and in the background you can see Adam and Lewis going at it. It's difficult to know which battle to follow, but Lewis takes the inside into the last corner and the place, and he's taken some of his penalties as well, so that might play into his advantage. But Ben wins again for the 2nd time this season. Who's going to be 2nd, who's going to be 3rd, and who's going to be 4th and 5th, as they're all side by side across the line. But Nathan takes 2nd place. Thinks Sean will get 3rd, and then we'll cut to the end and see. But 7th for Alex, 6th for Dylan, by the way, 8th for Jason, and then another pack of cars coming across the line all together. Looks like 9th for Andrew and 10th on the road for Greg. So we'll have to see the results at the end just to see who got what. And one thing's for sure, Chris was last, but showing signs of improvement. Was very, very far off the pace in practice and qualifying, but in the race he's not too far back, and he'll look to improve as the season goes on. And a little bit wide at the last corner, but it's the end of the race, so he'll accept that. 14th for Chris. The results are Ben, Nathan, Sean, Lewis, Adam, Dylan, Alex, Jason, Andrew and Ashley rounding out the points. Then it's Coleman, Greg, Jeff and Chris. So that was round 3, and I hope you can join me for the reverse grid of round 4 at Kyoto.